It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're lying in the dark, and there's not a sound in the house. Only the quiet hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen and your own breathing. You stare at the ceiling. You already know every crack in it by heart because you've seen it hundreds of times at this exact hour. The alarm will ring in 4 hours, then in 3, then in 2. And you lie there, counting down the hours, and the counting only makes you sleepier. Your body is exhausted beyond belief, and your brain is running like a wound-up engine that no one can turn off. Sound familiar? If so, stick around until the end, because today I'll tell you how to fall asleep in 5 minutes. No pills, no sleeping pills that leave you with a headache in the morning. Just 4 simple things that you probably have in your kitchen right now. And before we begin, remember one number, 90. Just keep it in your head. By the end of this story, you'll understand why it's the number that decides whether you get a good night's sleep tonight or spend another night counting the cracks in the ceiling. This number is the key to everything. I know what you're thinking. I've tried everything. A warm bath before bed, counting sheep to 1,000, downloading rain sound apps, drinking gallons of chamomile tea, forcing myself, closing my eyes and telling myself, sleep, sleep. And the harder I forced myself, the worse it got. If this describes you, you're not alone. Statistics show that 1 in 3 adults sleeps poorly, which means right now, at this very moment, millions of people are lying there staring at their ceiling just like you. But here's the important thing. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. Your body knows how to sleep. It's been doing so since the first day of your life. It's just that someone is stealing your sleep. And today, you'll learn the names of these thieves and learn how to drive them away. Write this down somewhere in your head. By the end of the video, you'll have a precise step-by-step protocol: what to eat, what to drink, in what order, and how many minutes before bed. And you'll also learn about one secret 4th element, without which all the others only work half-heartedly. You've handled it hundreds of times and never even guessed what it could do at night. In the meantime, if you're currently lying awake or frequently unable to fall asleep, write one word in the comments: insomnia. I want to understand how many of us are out there searching for answers tonight. Who's stealing your sleep? There are 3 thieves, and the first one is called cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone, the one that gets you out of bed in the morning and gets you going. It's high during the day, and that's normal. It keeps you alert. And by night, it should gradually drop, giving way to the sleep hormone. It should. But for someone who lives in a constant rush with deadlines and anxiety, cortisol doesn't drop at night. It stays high. And the body receives conflicting signals. It's dark, time to sleep. But the alarm hormone is still raging in your blood, screaming, "Wake up, danger!" That's why you lie there tired but can't sleep. It's not your weakness, it's your chemistry that's out of balance. Imagine a driver who's been pushing the gas pedal all day. The car's been speeding along. Then he pulls up to the house, turns off the ignition, and the engine doesn't stall. It keeps roaring under the hood, driven by inertia. It's like your brain at night. You turn off the lights, lie down, close your eyes, and inside, everything's still roaring. The second thief is blue light, the one that pours from the screen of your phone, tablet, or TV. For our brains, designed thousands of years ago, blue light means one thing: day, sun, time to be awake. And when you're scrolling through your feed in bed, your brain sees this light and thinks, "It's too early to sleep, the sun is shining." It stops producing sleep hormones. You put your phone down, close your eyes, and your body is convinced it's noon. And the third thief, the most insidious, is your own thoughts. As soon as your head hits the pillow, a movie starts playing. You remember what you said wrong at work. You replay tomorrow's conversation. You think about money, about the kids, about what you forgot to do. One thought leads to another, and suddenly a whole train of anxiety is racing through your head, not letting it subside. These 3 work together. High cortisol keeps the body tense. Blue light tricks the brain. Worrying thoughts add fuel to the fire. And the cycle continues. You don't sleep because you're worried, and you're worried because you're not sleeping. And now comes the most interesting part. Each of these thieves can be dealt with, not with a pill that hits the entire body at once, but gently, precisely, with the help of ordinary food, the kind you have in your kitchen. But to understand exactly how food combats insomnia, you first need to understand what's going on in your head when you finally fall asleep. And here's a surprise. Your brain doesn't rest at all at night. It works at full capacity. Close your eyes for a moment. No, not now. Finish reading first. Most people believe that sleep is when the brain switches off like a light bulb. Click, and it's darkness until morning. Well, that's not true. At night, your brain works almost harder than during the day. A professor who spent his entire life studying the brain liked to repeat a simple thing to his students. He said, "While you sleep, your head works as a cleaner, a librarian, and a repairman all at once." And these three words capture the essence of the brain's nocturnal function. First, about the librarian. Over the course of a day, thousands of impressions flood your head. Faces, conversations, numbers, smells, worries. During the day, it all gets piled up, like books that readers have left lying around. And at night, your brain sorts them into shelves. The important stuff gets transferred to long-term memory, to the top shelves. The unnecessary stuff gets discarded. This is precisely why a sleep-deprived person forgets everything. The librarian didn't have time to sort the books, and now your head is a mess, making it impossible to find anything. Now, the repairman. While you sleep, your body repairs itself. Micro-damages in your muscles heal. Cells regenerate. The heart, which has been pumping blood all day, gets a break and slows down. That's why sleep heals colds, fatigue, and exhaustion. And the cleaning lady. This discovery shocked scientists recently. It turns out that at night, special channels open in the brain, flushing out all the waste accumulated during the day, those same harmful proteins that settle between cells during the day. If a person doesn't sleep, the cleaning lady doesn't come, and the waste accumulates night after night over the years. Scientists link this to severe brain diseases in old age. And all this work, librarian, repairman, cleaner, isn't done haphazardly, but in strict cycles. One such cycle lasts about 90 minutes. That's our number. In 90 minutes, the brain goes from light drowsiness to deep sleep, and then to the dreams we see. And then again, in a circle. There are 4 or 5 such cycles per night. And here the first part of the mystery is revealed. Do you know why you can sleep for 8 hours and still wake up feeling groggy? Because your alarm clock interrupted you mid-cycle. The cleaning lady didn't finish mopping the floor. The librarian left books halfway down the shelf, and you were pulled out. Or you can sleep less, but wake up right between cycles and feel refreshed. That's why it's not just how much sleep you get that matters, but also how smoothly these 90-minute waves flow. And you know what helps them flow smoothly, without interruptions? The right substances in your blood. The very same ones that come from regular food. So what is this food? I'll tell you about the first product now, and we'll start with something you probably drank before bed as a child, without even knowing why your grandmother gave it to you. The first product is warm milk. Yes, that same old grandmother's advice that many scoff at. A glass of warm milk before bed. It sounds like a naive relic of the past. But behind that simple glass lies real biochemistry, something Grandma didn't know about. She simply saw that her grandchildren slept more soundly after drinking it. Milk contains a special amino acid called tryptophan. Remember this word, it's key to our story. Tryptophan is the raw material, the precursor, from which your brain first builds the calm hormone, and from that, the sleep hormone. Without tryptophan, the brain has nothing to make sleep out of. With tryptophan, the brain has the material to gently shut you down. It's a chain reaction. First, the brain uses tryptophan to create a substance responsible for calm and a positive mood. When there's enough of it, anxious thoughts, our third thief, subside. And then, closer to night, in the darkness, this substance produces the very sleep hormone that guides you through 90-minute cycles until morning. So a glass of milk hits 2 thieves at once. It calms your thoughts and provides the raw material for sleep. Why warm? There are 2 reasons. The first is physical. A warm drink gently warms you from the inside, relaxes your muscles, and signals your body you can release tension, you're safe. The second is much deeper, about habit and memory, and we'll talk about it a little later because it's what will transform milk from a one-time trick into a reliable nighttime ritual. Let me just clarify right away so you don't make a common mistake. The milk should be warm, not hot. Boiling water will scald you and invigorate you, not calm you. And no sugar, no cocoa with a mountain of sweet powder. Sugar will raise that same cortisol, and you'll let the thief back in with your own hands. Just warm milk, calm, soft, like an all-clear signal. But here's what's important to understand. Milk works primarily on your mind. It calms your thoughts and provides the raw material for the sleep hormone. But insomnia isn't just in your head. It's in your body too, in your hunched shoulders, your clenched jaw, your legs that just can't find a place under the covers. Milk alone can't do that. You need a second product. And it's probably in your kitchen right now, in a bowl of fruit. Imagine a man over 40. Let's just call him a man who can't sleep. He's strong during the day, but at night his calves cramp. He lies in bed, but he doesn't rest. His shoulders are stiff, his jaw is clenched, his legs are searching for a cool spot under the covers and can't find it. He may have calmed his mind, but his body is still on edge. Do you recognize yourself? That's the kind of night our second product is for. The second food item is a banana, the one that's sitting in your vase, turning yellow while you're trying to decide whether to eat it or not. But it's a waste of time because a banana isn't about the mind. A banana is about the body. Bananas contain magnesium, and magnesium for your muscles is like the command "at ease" for a soldier who's stood at attention half the night before. Here's the thing. When a muscle tenses, it needs one mineral. When it relaxes, it needs another, and that other mineral is magnesium. If your body lacks magnesium, your muscles can't fully release tension. They remain in a slight, imperceptible state of tension. You don't consciously feel it, but your body is on edge. And your brain is clever. It won't let you drift off into deep sleep while your body is tense. To it, a tense body signifies danger. And that's where the trap closes. Your body is tense because there's not enough magnesium. Your brain sees your body tense and keeps you anxious. Anxiety keeps you from falling asleep. And you lie there, wondering why, no matter how hard you try, you can't fall asleep. The magnesium in the banana gently breaks this cycle. The shoulders drop, the jaw relaxes, the legs stop searching for a place. The body finally tells the brain, everything is calm, there is no danger, it's time to switch off. And the brain allows it. But magnesium does something else, too. It calms the nervous system from within. It dampens that inner tremor, that buzz of excitement that lingers in the nerves after a stressful day. Remember that driver whose engine roars after turning off the ignition? Magnesium is the hand that gently turns off the engine. And notice how beautifully the picture is coming together. The milk calmed the mind and provided the raw material for the sleep hormone that's working with the mind. The banana relaxed the body and nerves. That's working with the body. Two thieves are already retreating, but we haven't yet completely defeated the third, the most cunning one. And then the third product comes into play, and this one will truly surprise you, because it's usually not recommended to eat it at night. Nuts at night sounds like a mistake. Everyone knows nuts are heavy, fatty, and high in calories, and they're best eaten during the day, not before bed. So forget that rule. The third food item is a handful of walnuts. And this is perhaps the most underrated sleep aid of all. Remember the chain we talked about? Milk provided tryptophan, the raw material. From this raw material, the brain itself, step by step, builds the sleep hormone. The process is lengthy, and it requires time and energy. But walnuts do something incredible. They contain a ready-made sleep hormone. Not raw material, not a pre-prepared product, the finished product itself. A small but real dose of the very substance that guides you through your nighttime cycles. So, you're attacking the problem from two angles at once. Milk gives the brain the raw material it needs to slowly build the sleep hormone all night long. And the nuts provide a little of the already prepared hormone right now, so sleep comes faster, without waiting for the factory inside to get going. The long road and the shortcut work together. And that's not all. Walnuts contain healthy fats and the same magnesium as bananas. Fats help all these substances be absorbed rather than wasted. This means walnuts also help other foods, unlocking their power. Just don't overeat. Many people make the mistake of grabbing a whole bowl. Don't. A large serving of fatty foods at night will keep your stomach busy, and it won't let you sleep. It'll be tossing and turning along with you. You need just a handful, 6 or 7 nuts. Just enough to provide the hormones and healthy fats, but not overload your stomach with all that nighttime work. And now that we have 3 products, the subtlest part begins. Individually, each of them helps just a little. Milk is a little calming. Bananas are a little relaxing. Nuts are a little drowsy. Individually, it's like 3 people pulling a heavy load separately, each in their own direction. But when they pull together in the same direction at the right moment, the load shifts easily. This is called synergy. The whole is stronger than the sum of its parts. Milk gives the brain the raw materials for sleep. Banana relieves tension in the body, allowing the brain to switch off. And the nut releases a pre-prepared hormone and helps everything else be absorbed. 3 substances meet in the blood at the same time, and the brain receives not just one timid signal, time to sleep, but a whole chorus of voices all saying the same thing. Even the most stubborn insomniac won't be able to resist such a chorus. And here we come to what I promised at the very beginning. The secret that transforms these 3 products from works pretty well to falls asleep in 5 minutes. The 4th hidden element. Without it, this chorus sounds half-hearted. With it, it's at full volume. You've handled it hundreds of times. But before I reveal it, I want you to believe it works. So let me show you 2 real people. Let me tell you 2 stories. These aren't made up. These happen to people every day, maybe even right now, in the apartment next door. The first is about a woman. Let's call her Anna. She's in her early 40s, has 2 children, and is stressed out by her job. She stopped sleeping normally several years ago and had already gotten used to the idea that this was permanent. She would fall asleep in the early morning and wake up exhausted. During the day, she'd survive on coffee. In the evening, she'd snap at her loved ones. And at night, she'd stare at the ceiling again, blaming herself for yelling at the kids, a cycle that seemed impossible to escape. She tried pills. At first, they helped, but then they stopped. The previous dose wasn't enough anymore, and she was afraid to increase it. And the doctor she finally saw didn't rewrite her prescription. He told her about these foods and the correct order. Anna listened in disbelief. Milk, banana, nuts, and that's all? After all her suffering? She tried it simply because she had nothing to lose. The first night, she didn't fall asleep right away, but she fell asleep faster than usual. A week later, she realized she couldn't remember falling asleep the night before. She simply lay down, and then there was a blackout, and then morning. And a couple of weeks later, while telling the story, she suddenly stopped mid-sentence and almost burst into tears. Not from grief, from the return of the forgotten feeling. She woke up refreshed again. She was calm with the children again. "It was like I was back to my old self," she said. The second story is about a man. Let's call him Victor. He was in his late 50s, a former soldier, a man accustomed to being in control. And it was precisely this control that failed him. He couldn't sleep because his mind was still on duty at night, checking, analyzing, replaying. He tried to force himself to sleep by willpower, ordering himself to sleep, just as he once ordered himself not to sleep while on duty. And the more forcefully he ordered, the worse he slept. Victor was initially skeptical about the food idea, as befits a man who doesn't believe in simple solutions. But he was disciplined. Once he decided, he did it. Milk, banana, nuts, in that order, every evening, without exception. And after a while, something happened that he hadn't expected. He stopped fighting sleep. He began to surrender to it. and sleep came. "You know what's the strangest thing?" he said later. "I don't remember falling asleep anymore. I just close my eyes, and that's it." For a man who had spent years lying awake, guarding his own sleep, this was almost a miracle. Two different stories. A woman exhausted by caregiving, a man exhausted by control. But both were saved by the same thing. And you know what? Both had the same nuance, a small detail without which, according to them, nothing would have worked. That fourth element. I'll name it very soon. But first, we need to talk about why people like Anna and Victor spent years on the wrong path. Why the usual pills so often fail and even make things worse. Why do pills fail so badly? After all, millions of people swallow them every night. And the answer is unpleasant but honest. Sleeping pills don't make you sleep. They make you pass out. And those, as it turns out, are not the same thing. Remember the three nighttime jobs of the brain: librarian, repairman, and cleaner? Remember the 90-minute cycles through which the brain moves from light drowsiness to deep sleep and dreams? Well, most sleeping pills interfere with these cycles. They knock out consciousness, but don't allow the brain to complete all the necessary stages as it should. The person lies unconscious, and there's no real nighttime work. The cleaner hasn't arrived. The librarian hasn't shelved the books. The repairman hasn't fixed the body. That's why, after taking a sleeping pill, you so often wake up in a fog. Your head is heavy, your thoughts are viscous, and your mouth has a bad taste. You've slept for 8 hours, but it feels like you've been unplugged and then plugged back in without having time to recover. Your body has been asleep, but it hasn't rested. And there's a second trap, even more dangerous. Addiction. The body is smart. It quickly realizes that sleep is now being forced upon it from outside, and it stops trying. Its own production of sleep hormones drops. Why bother if a pill will do the trick? And then the previous dose isn't enough. You need more, then even more. And when you try to quit, the nights become worse than they were before the pills. A person becomes dependent not because they're weak, but because that's how the chemistry of addiction works. I'm not saying sleeping pills are absolute evil, and I'm not advocating for anyone to stop taking their doctor's prescription. There are severe cases where they're essential, and only a doctor can decide. I'm talking about something else. For ordinary, stress-induced insomnia, the kind Anna, Victor, and maybe you have, we too often resort to heavy artillery where a gentle, precise approach is needed. Medication numbs everything. Food, however, works subtly. It provides the body with the very raw materials it's lacking, allowing the brain to fall asleep on its own natural sleep cycle, complete with cleaning lady and librarian. Feel the difference. The pill turns you off. Food helps you fall asleep. In the first case, sleep happens to you. In the second, you fall asleep on your own. And that's why the natural method, unlike a pill, doesn't force you into a corner, but gradually restores your body's ability to sleep. So what is this fourth element that transforms three ordinary products into a truly powerful remedy? I'll tell you everything step by step now, and finally, I'll reveal the secret that unites milk, banana, and nuts into a single whole. Remember how I said Anna and Victor had the same nuance? A small detail without which they said nothing would have worked. Well, it's time to reveal it. This fourth element is a simple thing that half the people have in their kitchens. You've handled it hundreds of times, spread it on bread, put it in your tea, and never once did you think it could do something like this at night. This is a spoonful of honey. Yes, regular honey. That same jar that sits in your cupboard, crystallizing while you forgot about it. And now you'll understand why, without it, our entire choir sounds half-hearted, but with it, it reaches full power. Here's the thing. Remember tryptophan from milk, the raw material for the sleep hormone? It has a problem. To get into the brain and be converted into sleep, it needs to break through a kind of door. And other substances from your food are also jostling for that door. Tryptophan is small and unassuming, easily pushed aside, and only a small portion reaches the brain. Now, What does honey do? A small, gentle amount of sugar from honey triggers a silent reaction in the body that clears out tryptophan's competitors. The crowd at the door disperses, and tryptophan passes through almost unimpeded. Honey literally opens the way for milk to enter the brain. That's why, without honey, milk works only half as well. With honey, it works at full strength. And that's not all honey can do. It has a second, equally important function. It replenishes a small reserve in the liver, fuel for the night. When this reserve is depleted, the body begins to worry in the middle of the night. It's running low, and it releases our first thief, cortisol, into the bloodstream. That same stress hormone that jolts you awake at 3 in the morning, cold and tense for no apparent reason. A spoonful of honey pre-fills the night tank, and the body gets through the night peacefully, without any alarming wake-up calls. Now put the whole picture together. Milk provides the raw materials for sleep. Honey opens the way for these raw materials to enter the brain and simultaneously dampens those nighttime awakenings. A banana relieves tension in the body and nerves. And a handful of nuts releases the already prepared sleep hormone and helps everything be absorbed. 4 elements, each filling its own gap. And together they don't just add up, they reinforce each other. There it is, your answer. Simple, accessible. And honey is the missing link that holds the whole thing together. And just one small adjustment to avoid harming yourself. You only need a teaspoon of honey, a teaspoon, no more, not half a jar. A little sugar opens the door and fills the tank. Too much sugar will do the exact opposite. It'll energize you and let the cortisol back in. Moderation is everything here. Also, honey shouldn't be added to boiling water. Hot water kills its benefits. Therefore, it should be added to warm milk, not hot. See how it all fits together? Warm milk is gentle on the muscles, and it helps the honey retain its strength. Every detail in this protocol is in place for a reason. Now you have all 4 cards in your hand: milk, honey, banana, nuts. But the cards themselves don't win the game. It's how you play them that matters. In what order, at what time, with what pauses. And in the next chapter, I'll lay it all out for you, step by step, the exact evening protocol, the very one Anna and Victor used to fall asleep, so you can repeat it tonight. In the meantime, since you've gotten to the secret, I'm genuinely curious. Do you have any honey at home right now? Take a mental look in your cupboard. Comment below whether you have it or not. I want to know how many of you will only have to go to the store for 1 jar to try it all tonight. So, you have 4 products. Now comes the most important part: how exactly to use them. Because the same things, eaten haphazardly and hastily, will produce barely noticeable results. But eaten correctly, in order, at the right time, they will work as a single mechanism. Here's your precise evening protocol. Memorize it, or pause and write it down. Step 1 is timing. You need to start about 30 to 40 minutes before you want to go to bed. Not 5 minutes on the run, and not 3 hours. 30 to 40 minutes is the window during which the substances have time to enter the bloodstream and reach the brain just in time for your head to hit the pillow. Step 2. Prepare the milk with honey. Heat a glass of milk until it's comfortably warm, just warm enough to drink without scalding your skin. Only when it's warm, not hot, stir in a teaspoon of honey. Remember why? Boiling water would kill the honey's potency, and we need to preserve it. Step 3. Banana and nuts. While the milk is cooling to the right temperature, eat 1 banana and a handful of walnuts, 6 or 7, no more. Chew slowly, taking your time. This isn't a snack on the go, it's part of your bedtime ritual. Step 4. Drink warm milk with honey. Slowly, in small sips, feeling the warmth spreading from within. This completes the chain. The body receives raw materials, a ready-made hormone, magnesium, and an open pathway for all of this to reach the brain. Now comes the part that transforms the protocol from ate food to fell asleep in 5 minutes. After you've eaten and drunk everything, create the right environment for your body. Put away your phone. Remember the second thief, blue light. Dim the lights, or better yet, turn them off completely. The room should be cool and dark. Lie down. And, watch this, this is the whole secret of the finale. Don't count the minutes or check whether you've fallen asleep or not. Just trust your body and let sleep come. When all the signals come together, the warm drink inside, the necessary substances in the blood, the darkness and coolness around, the brain receives them simultaneously as a single command. It's time. And then falling asleep stops being a struggle. It becomes what nature intended, an easy slip into slumber. Do it today. This is it, all the way through, step by step. Not just, I'll have some milk sometime. One evening following the proper protocol will tell you more than 100 explanations. But before you try it, I must warn you about the pitfalls. Because more often than not, a method doesn't work, not because it's bad, but because a person has, without realizing it, nullified its power with one small detail. You can buy the right groceries, drink milk with honey, eat a banana and nuts, complete the entire protocol perfectly, and then lie down and scroll through your phone for half an hour. That's it. The light from the screen cancels out everything you just did. This is mistake number 1, and also the most common. You've just let a second thief back into the bedroom. The rule is simple. After the protocol, don't touch the screen again. At all. Mistake number 2. Sugar. People think, if a spoonful of honey is good, then it'll be even better with sugar or cookies, and it'll be delicious too. Quite the opposite. Excess sugar raises cortisol, and you're waking up the first thief with your own hands. Just a spoonful of honey, and no more sweets before bed. Mistake number 3 is overeating. Instead of a handful of nuts, a person grabs a bowl. Instead of 1 banana, 3. The logic of the more effective doesn't apply here. An overloaded stomach tosses and turns all night, keeping you awake. Moderation isn't a whim, it's part of the method. Mistake number 4 is impatience. People try it for one evening, don't experience immediate relief, and give up. And the body, especially one worn out by years of poor sleep, sometimes lingers for days. Anna didn't feel the difference on the first night. Give the method at least a few nights in a row before passing judgment. And a separate note about sleeping pills, a false assistant that robs you of quality sleep. This isn't a command, but a thought-provoking conversation. If you've been taking medications for a long time, don't quit abruptly. It could be more damaging than insomnia. Any changes should only be made with the advice of a doctor. The product method is something you can begin calmly and safely, gently and on your own. But the decision to stop taking medications is always yours and your doctor's. Eliminate these 4 mistakes and the method will reveal itself in its full potential. And here's where the main question arises. What will happen if you do everything correctly, not just for one evening, but over a long period of time? How will you change in weeks and months? This is where our number comes back. Remember? 90. Now you'll finally know what it means. 90. At the beginning, I asked you to keep this number in mind. I said it was the key to everything. And now the time has come to fully reveal it, because it has 2 meanings, and both are important. You already know the first meaning. 90 minutes is the length of one sleep cycle, the wave the brain follows from drowsiness to deep sleep and dreams. When you fall asleep easily and sleep without interruption, these waves flow smoothly, one after another, and the brain has time to do all its work during the night. It was precisely for the sake of these smooth 90-minute cycles that we compiled our entire protocol. But there's a second meaning. 90 days, about 3 months. That's how long it takes the body to transform a one-time trick into a new norm. One good night is a gift, but 90 good nights in a row, that's a different person. Imagine what happens over these 90 days. The first week, you simply begin to fall asleep easier and faster. The dread of the night, of the moment when you have to lie down and fight the ceiling again, disappears. Then, your sleep and stress hormones gradually return to their normal rhythm. Those nighttime awakenings at 3 o'clock become less and less frequent, and then disappear. After a few weeks, something you might not have remembered for a long time awakens. Your head is clear in the morning. A balanced mood returns, something that had been eroded by fatigue for years. And after a while, your body also improves. Every night, your brain manages to call the cleaning lady, the librarian, and the repairman, and this daily repair adds up to robust health. Your memory works better. Your heart is calmer. Your body no longer operates in emergency mode. A well-rested person is, in essence, a different person. The same and yet completely different. They react more calmly to things that used to irritate them. They are kinder to their loved ones because they have the strength to be kind. They rediscover a zest for life that, under the weight of sleep deprivation, seemed lost forever. Anna said, "I'm back to my old self." That's what these 90 days mean. And now you understand why sleep isn't a trifle to be put off, nor a luxury for those with a lot of free time. Sleep is the foundation on which everything else in your life rests: your health, your mood, your relationships, your work. When the foundation crumbles, everything on top crumbles. And when the foundation is strong, everything else holds itself together. 90 minutes to get through one night right. 90 days to change your life. One thing builds upon the other, steady nights, night after night, and then there are those 3 months that bring you back to yourself. All that remains is to understand why such a simple solution has eluded you for so long. And that's what the final part will cover. So why has this solution eluded you for so long? Why isn't it being shouted about from every corner if it's so simple and effective? The answer is unpleasant but honest, and you need to hear it. Because there's no money in simple things. A glass of milk, a banana, a handful of nuts, and a spoonful of honey are pennies. You can't build a big business on that. But insomnia can be a huge one. Sleeping pills, supplements, clever sleep gadgets, app subscriptions, special pillows and mattresses, an entire industry thrives on you not sleeping. And this industry has absolutely no interest in you finding out. The answer may already be sitting in your kitchen, and it costs mere pennies. We've been conditioned to think this strange thing: if a solution is cheap and simple, it's not serious. If it works, it must be expensive, come in pretty packaging, require a prescription, and have a long name. And we dismiss what's been passed down from grandmother to grandson for centuries, warm milk at night, as superstition, naivete. And here's the paradox. People spend fortunes on sleep, and yet they pass by what's in their own refrigerators. I'm not urging you to abandon medicine. A doctor, a true specialist, is important and necessary, especially in severe cases. I'm calling for something else. Stop underestimating the simple. Don't confuse cheap with useless and difficult with effective. Sometimes the most powerful medicine is the most subtle. And just because an insomnia solution can cost less than a cup of coffee doesn't make it weak. On the contrary, it makes it accessible to everyone, including you, today. And so we come to the end. Let's distill everything you've learned today into one clear picture so you can take it with you and apply it tonight. You've learned that your insomnia has names: the 3 thieves, cortisol, the stress hormone that doesn't subside at night and keeps you on edge, the blue light from screens, which tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, and your own anxious thoughts, which turn on a late-night movie the moment your head hits the pillow. You've learned that your brain doesn't just sleep at night, but works like a librarian, a repairman, and a cleaning lady all at once, going through 90-minute cycles, and that the quality of your life depends on the smoothness of these waves. You've learned 4 simple remedies that strike softly and accurately against thieves. Warm milk is the raw material for the sleep hormone and calms the mind. Bananas provide magnesium, which relieves tension in the body and nerves. Walnuts provide a handful of ready-made sleep hormones and healthy fats. And honey is that missing link that allows milk to enter the brain and dampens those nighttime awakenings. You've learned the exact protocol: 30 to 40 minutes before bed, in the correct order, no screens, in a dark and cool place, without counting the minutes, just trusting your body. You've learned the 4 main mistakes that ruin everything: your phone in bed, excess sugar, overeating, and impatience. And you understand why natural sleep is better than the knockout effects of a pill that robs you of quality and becomes addictive. And you learned about the two meanings of the number 90. 90 minutes to get through one night properly, and 90 days so that a series of good nights will give birth to a new, well-rested, and calm you. All of this adds up to one idea, the very reason for this whole conversation. Your body knows how to sleep. It never forgot how. You don't need to force it, fight it, or overcome it with willpower. You just need to remove the thieves and give it the little it needs, and then it will do what it's been doing since the first day of your life. And now, my last conversation with you is the most important. Not about milk or honey. About you. Tonight, you'll go back to bed, and you'll have a choice. You can do what you always do. Lie down, pick up your phone, start scrolling through the day, counting the hours and staring at the familiar cracks in the ceiling. Tomorrow, you'll wake up exhausted, and so on, another night, and another, and another. It's the easy path, the path along a familiar rut. It demands nothing. It only slowly robs you of your health, your spirit, your years. Or you can do it differently. Get up, walk to the kitchen, warm up a glass of milk, stir in a spoonful of honey, eat a banana and a handful of nuts. Put away your phone, turn off the lights, lie down in the cool darkness, and let your body do the rest. That's it. It's not a feat, not a complicated system, not an expensive purchase. Just a few simple steps that will take you a few minutes. There's a lifetime's difference between these two paths, because a well-rested person and a sleep-deprived one are two different people with different destinies. One lives in emergency mode on the last of their strength, taking it out on loved ones. The other wakes up with a clear head, a calm heart, and a desire to live. And it's not the doctor, not the pill, not luck who decides which of them you will be. It's you yourself tonight with your small choice. No one will take this step for you. The knowledge you now possess is worthless while it lies dormant. It only comes to life through action. Remember Anna, who tried it simply because she had nothing to lose? Remember Victor, who stopped fighting sleep and began to surrender to it? They are no different from you. The only thing they did was try, once, and then again. So do it too. Not tomorrow, not someday, not starting Monday. Tonight, get up, go to the kitchen, and follow the protocol. A glass of warm milk with a spoonful of honey, a banana, a handful of nuts, a cool, dark room, and no phone. One night. Just try it, and let your body show you what it's capable of when you finally stop bothering it. Good night to you. Truly good night. Perhaps for the first time in a long time.